Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second, bear with me. Want to make sure I got the music cracking, got the music popping. Want to make sure everything is set up and the sound is good, and I'm gonna get to flowing on a very important topic. I think it's important, and depending on how the show goes, it's either gonna go one of two ways. One, I'll be directly reacting to a YouTube video, or I will be if I can get the panel to come on, then we'll be just discussing some of the posts. We'll be discussing some of the posts because I think this is a very important topic tonight. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Okay. That's sounding good. That is sounding good. Um, Turn the music down a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new creation that I would like to call Rotation Conversations. I am your host, CJ Kyles. Um, I am a nurse, and on frequent occasions, we do a podcast. Sometimes it'll either be me by myself or we'll have a panel, whichever one happens, but the conversation is still taking place. And I would like to thank you all for joining me this evening for a serious topic, I think. I ran across a video, a YouTuber today, and I had no idea what I was going to talk about on tonight's show, and she just happened to pop up in my field. Um, oh, we have a guest. Let me see. Let me see. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, CJ.
What's going on?
Not much. Not much.
Yeah, we talking about have black women been sold the independent lie? Is it a lie being independent, getting it on your own, hustling by yourself? Is that a lie?
Is that a lie?
Do you do you think because would you consider well first of all, hold on, I'm gonna introduce you. Let me just make sure the sound is straight. I just want to make sure the sound is straight real quick. Because would you consider well first of all, all right, we good. All right. So would you consider yourself well, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's show is called Rotation Conversations. Have black women been sold the lie of independence? Have black women been sold the lie of independence? And ladies, I would like you to chime in tonight. I might post a link for the ladies. I did send the link out to a few gentlemen to get their take if they can make it. But I would definitely like to hear from the sisters if they want to chime in tonight. Um, so I definitely want to get into it. So thank you for being here. Let me make sure that I sent. Um, make sure I sent this link out. Okay. First of all, before we get into it, how are you this evening? How are you
I
this
am
evening?
great. I am great.
I see you got the smile popping. What's going on? You must have got you some money today.
Today payday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, see, there you go. There you go. How's school?
um, I probably would have to discuss that off camera.
No problem. No problem. Well, ladies and gentlemen, since it's just us, I'm gonna put part of a video up. I'm gonna be reacting to a video, me and you. Um, it's by a YouTuber. Her name is Chantel Simone, and she is from I want to say Jamaica because of the accent. And oh, shout out to the homie Merce Jackson in the building. What's good, player?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
Not much, man. I
Good
appreciate
to
you
be
being
here.
here. I appreciate you
Absolutely.
being here this evening, man. Right from the
For
gym.
sure.
right from his
Yeah.
gym. Got
Yeah, man.
that's your home
Sanctuary,
gym?
so. Yeah, it's my garage, home gym. Pretty
Got you.
much where I do all my videos, workouts, stuff like that. So,
Bet,
but
bet,
yep,
bet.
my
Well, Merce
sanctuary.
Jackson, first of all, let me thank you, sir, for coming on such a short notice, man. I'm sure you are busy, and I just really want to thank you for being here.
Oh, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. Like I said, I follow you, man, and inspired me a lot to get on camera myself and try to tell a
Man,
little bit of my story. So.
yo, go check out Merce Jackson on YouTube, everybody. If y'all listening, go check out Merce Jackson on YouTube. He is another nurse doing his thing, part of the nurse gang, the nurse brethren. I appreciate him for being here. It should be a good show. Um, so tonight's topic tonight was independence a lie sold to black women? Was independence a lie sold to black women? Now, let me get you. I want to introduce my sister in nursing, Miss Brianna. She's, I guess, to my right on the screen, depending on how you're looking at it. But
Hey,
I think it's
everybody.
important that we had this conversation because Brianna is a young woman. You are what, 22, 23?
Yes, I'm 23.
23. Okay. You're 23 years old. Now, would you consider yourself an independent woman?
Yes, I would. I would consider myself an independent woman.
Were you taught to be independent?
Yes, by my grandmother. I was taught to be independent at a young
Okay.
age.
So with those lessons growing up, what were some of the things that she said to you? Because we're gonna react to this video in a second. I just want to kind of get your thoughts. So, what were some of the things that she told you about being independent? Did she tell you never trust a man, or a man will up and leave you? Like, what were some of the things that were said in your household?
Um, well, basically, she will always say, always have your own. Don't depend on a guy. Like, make your own money. Stuff like that. So yeah, I've
Okay.
been taught that young.
Okay. How has that been for you?
Um, how's that been?
Do
I
you like
mean,
handling everything on your own? Do you enjoy that with everything riding on you?
now that I'm older, I feel like I can handle things being on my own, but I feel like it it's nice to have like somebody to kind of take a load off your shoulder, if that makes sense. Like I'm cool with being independent, but it's nice to have somebody, like, hey, I can help you, or I got you if you need me, stuff like that. So
Bet. Cool. I'm gonna stop you right there. Merce Jackson, was independence, was that a lie sold to black women?
Ah, I think that's a loaded question.
Well, let's
So
unload it.
I think it's twofold. And I say that because, yes, to answer your question, yes, they were sold a bill of goods. And I say it's twofold because the men, it goes back to the 60s with segregation. So I think that the family was more intact back in that time, which allowed women to be dependent on the man. And then, of course, with all the feminism and stuff that's going on now, of course, they're told put your education above all else because you're going to be the only person that's going to look out for yourself. And then again, that plays to the narrative of that. Well, black men aren't there. The stereotype, black men, the black fathers are not there. They're not gonna be there for the women, kids, and it's to me it's a loaded question. So were
Mhm.
they sold a bill of goods? Yes, because like I said, society does portray black men in a negative light, and that's what they were told, and therefore that's how society and black men, women, um, go about it as well.
Right. So that's yeah. I know in the '60s when they started introducing things like Section 8, it was an incentive for black women to get rid of black men because the only way they could accommodate some of these things were to not have a man in the house. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We'll send you to school. We'll give you Section 8. We'll take care of you, but you cannot have a man in the house. So
Mm.
maybe from a systemic standpoint, women were taught,
Right.
especially black women, they were taught
Right.
the narrative of independence. But I want to get into this video real quick because I think this young lady is really saying some important stuff here. Um, let me see. Okay, fair use, by the way.
Unfortunately, there are too many modern women who won't admit that we were lied to. Too many modern women won't admit that, yo, we made a mistake. Let's switch it. Let's stop and switch it. A lot of them prefer to stay on this never trust a man. Keep your guards up. All men are toxic. Hey YouTube, it's Chantel, and my channel is for women who want to be better at dating and relationships by understanding our men's perspective and seeing things from their point of view, so we can start to get along with our black men and see more two-parent households in the black community. I'm going to talk about a post that I saw on Instagram because this post really struck something with me. I can relate so much with this post because I was one of those women who was told to go to school, get your education, don't focus on a man. Men come after, men come second to your education and your career. And then now I find myself at my age, unmarried, and wishing that I had done things differently. So I'm going to pull up the post and we're going to read it together. So the first slide says, it's a thread. So the first slide said, so many women won't admit that they are miserable in their independence. I wish we could just be honest and say what it really is. A lot of women are exhausted, but they keep pursuing this lifestyle that society pushes on us, not feeling like they have another choice, but you do.
All right, I want to stop it right there because it's a lot to break down. And the first question that I will pose to the panel and the people that's watching on a playback is let me see. Do you think most women, and we can talk about all women, but I'm speaking particularly about black women, but do you think most women are miserable being independent? I'm gonna start with you, Brianna, because I'm sure you have a lot of female friends. Um, what is the chatter? It's one thing in the front on social media, but when you get behind those closed doors, what is the conversation really like? And you ain't got to put nobody business out there, but
Right.
do you think most women your age, maybe older, are miserable in being independent?
Yes, a lot of women, especially my age, like I said, I'm in my early 20s. They are miserable with like being independent, and like that's just the way I feel. Talking to my friends and stuff like that. A lot of them, my single friends, they say, "Oh, I wish I had a guy to take care of me," and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I think that they are, not that happy with being fully
Mm.
independent.
Merch Jackson, same question to you, sir. We got a little echo.
Might be my
Um,
feedback.
let's see. How about now?
Sounds good to
Oh,
me.
is it on speakers or something like that?
Mm. All right, should be good to go.
All right, cool. All right. So do you think most women are miserable being independent, Merch Jackson?
Absolutely. I think, yeah, short answer, yes. Because they're trying to be the man, they're trying to be the woman, trying to be superwoman in every facet, financially, physically, mentally. Like they won't relinquish what men should be doing. And therefore, yeah, a superwoman is going to pick a beta male.
Mm.
And a person or a pick me is going to pick more likely to pick somebody who's alpha because she's more submissive and is going to allow that man to lead. So absolutely.
Mm. You said something interesting. You said the term "pick me," and when you said "pick me," I noticed. Brianna, are you familiar with that term "pick me"?
I'm actually not. Like I hear it often, but I'm not familiar with that term.
Okay. I hear an accent. Is that a New York accent, or are you from the Caribbean?
Everybody say that. No, I'm from America, but I'm in Jersey. So
Jersey.
maybe you do hear a little like New York a little bit. Like people
Okay.
tell me I sound country New York all that.
Okay. All right. Cool. I just wanted. I was asking because I didn't know if you were Caribbean. How their their standard of living was a little bit different when it came to that. But um, oh snap. Okay. Okay. All righty. Brianna, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So no, but I was gonna ask you, with women your age. I mean, not women your age, but women older than you. What did they tell you to never trust a man? And if so, why? Did they tell you to look for a husband? Did they tell you you need to focus and put the attention on finding a man who is good?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, it has been drilled into my head to never trust a man. Like from older
Mm,
women that I know. I know a lot of older women. That's just my friends, and they always tell me, "Don't trust a man. Focus on yourself. Get yourself in order." Or if I bring up like, "Hey, I want to get married one day," they be like, "Oh, don't worry about marriage." Like they talk about all the cons that come with marriage, but I don't really hear a lot of pros that comes with marriage, if that makes sense. So I do hear a lot of more negative than positive, if that makes sense.
mm. Okay. Well, I was asking you what a pick me was. A pick me is a term, if you knew, a pick me is a term, from what I gather, given to women by other women, that I guess they think they're doing too much and trying to attain a man. Is that what you get from it, Merce Jackson?
Yeah, pretty much, more or less. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Danny D, my sister's keeper. What's the deal? You muted.
Nothing much. What's up with you guys?
You at work?
I am.
On the grind. I am at that. We're talking about, was the independence one of the biggest lies ever sold to black women? I just played part of a video, and the young lady in the video said that most women are miserable in their independence. So the question I just asked the rest of the panel is, do you think most women are miserable being independent? Is it a tough job to be independent, to be the man and the woman?
Can you be a man and a woman?
Okay.
Is that possible?
Well, it just might be in 2021. No, but do you think, as far as the roles are concerned?
I think it's tough being independent. Yes, I wouldn't know about it, but I would think so. I mean, especially if you have children and you happen to take care of the kids and take care of the house and go to work and cook and feed them and bathe them. I would think that that's very difficult, very stressful.
Hmm. Hmm. Were you taught not to trust men as a young girl?
No.
Or like, was it like, were you taught to find you a good husband or a good man? And like, what was your upbringing like as far as being dependent on the man?
My grandmother was married. My mom was married to my dad. My dad wasn't around though. My mom was in long term relationships. My aunts were. I had a couple of aunts that got married. They didn't really tell me about getting married or finding a good husband or that men were not trustworthy. Um, I didn't have those type of conversations.
All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna play the next part of the video. I'm playing that all this time, and I still ain't got StreamYard together yet. It's a shame.
And I mean, it's exhausting to be this strong, independent, I don't need no man for anything. It is exhausting to be both the man and the woman in a relationship. And more women need to speak up. More women need to teach our young girls who are following this narrative, who's following this whole feminist movement, be a boss, own businesses, get your degree. a lot more women need to speak up and say, yeah, it's one thing to chase the bag. I'm not saying be a bum and don't be educated and don't have ambition. I'm not saying that. However, in that pursuit of the bag, prioritize marriage and relationships and families.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. And with that is my next question to the panel. My next question is: should women prioritize family, marriage over getting the bag? Should that be number one? Let me start with Danny D, since you are new. You're the newest one.
No, I think that'll get you hurt.
Mm. Break
I
that
think
down.
that's I think that's the problem with a lot of women is that they so focused on relationship that they not focused on themselves. I don't think that you should be focused on having a relationship unless you're in a relationship. Unless you're in a relationship that is promising, that should not be your focus. You should be focused on yourself and whatever your ambitions are. And along the way, be open to meeting a man, make room for him if he is, you know, worthy of that. But don't just be out there searching for something like that, because then you'll be just open to anything, and that's how you just get the wrong thing.
Okay. Brianna, what do you think about what this lady just said? Do you think women should be chasing family and relationships? Should it be a priority over getting your bag?
It should be a priority, but not over getting your bag.
So you put getting your bag first, then relationships.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Why you say that?
Because I mean, money runs the world, number one, and number two, if you put see, this is hard for me to talk about this right now, but if you put, your relationship over your funds, where does that get you? If you got no money, but yeah, I'm in a relationship, where does that get you? Don't get you nowhere. You're not gonna go far.
Interesting. Merce Jackson.
All right.
Same question to you, sir. You went black on the camera.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. All right, you back now. What do you think? Same question to you, sir. And what do you think about the ladies' answers?
First, respectfully disagree with the first lady. Me personally, I think that women should have more of a priority to find the right mate or right person, what have you. Does that mean that you don't go to school and do what you're supposed to do? Absolutely not. So the problem is most people find their person or what have you while they're going to school and pursuing their degree or whatever they want to be, right? So whether that's in college, grade school, or what have you. Problem is after that time, I know a lot of people in the manosphere always talk about at a certain age, women's value go down and men's value go up over time. And I feel that you will meet the person that you're meant to be with if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you are attracted to that man. So it's a man should always lead, right? So if a woman's not where she's supposed to be and a man is where he's supposed to be, of course, they're going to draw more attention to that man. And you're going to have to compete to get that type of man. So a woman should, in hindsight, yes, I think women should prioritize trying to find a suitable mate. Because what the statistics say, what 1 in 4 women, black women, actually marry. So when you get to that threshold of 25, 30, 35, you are now looking like I'm ready to settle down, but the people that are in my sphere are not meeting my criteria. And that only gets worse the older that you get. So that's just my
Okay. I think it's interesting. I think honestly it really depends on what type of husband, boyfriend relationship. I think it depends on what kind of relationship they want. If a woman wants to be a woman that wants to be taken care of, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think they have to know that the man that is going to take care of you, 9 times out of 10, he won't want a wife that's out here working 80 hours a week. Or he won't want a woman that's out there working 80 hours a week. So I think that's something you have to consider. Now, if you don't mind paying half the bills, or if you don't mind, um, contributing to the household in that way, then sure. You know what I'm saying? Do what you feel you have to do. I think the issue, well, I don't really have an issue with it, but I just think it's funny because a lot of the times I see, because I work with a lot of high earning women, and it's very rare that I see high earning women be successful in finding mates, because a lot of the times they want men who make just as much, if not more than them. And they have to understand that, these nurses out here making 80,000, 90,000, $100,000 a year. That is less than 10% of the population. It's even smaller for Black women. So, I mean, if you're trying to find you a mate, it just depends on what you want. So, Danny D, I know you married. I know you married, and you got that popping. Brianna, as a single woman, you going to school to be a nurse. Would you be okay with dating a man who made less than you, or who made the same as you, or do you want, like, do you know what kind of man that you want? Do you want to be taken care of? Do you want to be a career woman? Have you made those type of choices yet?
I'm okay. I feel like I have made the choice. I do want to be a career woman. Because the career field that I'm going into, nursing, it's a lot. Like, from seeing my friends that's nurses and all that, it's a lot. So I do want to be a career woman. Um, I don't mind dating a guy, and I think I said this before. I don't mind dating a guy who makes less than me. I know people gonna chew me up in these comments, but
The way
I
you
don't
even
mind.
said it, though, you just said it like, you said it like you wasn't having it.
Yeah, she ain't believing that.
Right. It's like you trying to convince yourself to believe it. But go ahead. Go ahead. Let me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They are funny. Nah, but I feel like I don't mind dating a guy who makes less than me. However, it would be nice if he could be equal or make more than.
Or do you feel you would be totally, would you be able to submit to a guy you made less than? Like, could he still tell you, do you feel like he could lead you as a man if you made more than him, significantly more than him? He's making $40,000, you're making 80. Do you still think you could submit to his leadership?
That's a tough one. Dang, thanks, CJ.
Go ahead. What was you
That's
about to say, Danny? Go ahead. What was you about to say? I'll let you think about that. Go ahead.
What he make have to do with him leading you? Okay,
Because a
so
lot of women,
since I am married, my husband does make less than me, and I do submit to him. He is my husband. We live by the means that he provides, not by the means that I could provide, because he is the leader. I'm not mad at it. I don't try to step on his toes. I learned to stay in my lane and be happy with what he can provide. He is an awesome guy, and so that's okay. He doesn't look in my purse for what I have, and I'm not stingy with what I have, but he doesn't ask for anything. He has what he has, and he provides for his family, and I'm happy with that as far as his provision goes. I don't understand why women feel like a man has to make more to be a leader. Being a leader has nothing to do with your money. It's about your action. So you was worried about what people would say to you about dating a man that makes less. Don't worry about what they say to you about a man that makes less. Ask them about their situation. And if they're not in your situation, their opinion is irrelevant.
Respect.
I can
I
respect
like
that.
that. I respect it.
I can respect that. And I think that's a lot of women, especially now, that are Brianna's age, their mentality is nowhere near that. Like, especially with the things that they see on Instagram and everything like that. I feel like it's hard. I mean, you see it all the time. You see it on TV, you see it on the internet. Oh, he gotta have this, he gotta be 6 figures, 6 feet, 6 pack. Like, you see it everywhere. So for a woman who makes more than her husband to say, I have no problem submitting to his leadership, I do it. I don't think you really understand how much of the minority that you're in. Because
I mean, but they want to be in this position. So I'm just telling them how to be in this position. Don't worry about his money. Look at his actions. The action of a man is what makes a man, not his pocket.
She's preaching. I'd say this 100% correct. And I say that because, like I said, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, and vice versa. So a man is looking for a woman that's going to be submissive and lead, no matter if I'm making more than what you're making, no matter if down and out, you still riding with me. That is what determines a wife from a woman. Mm-hmm. A wife is a person who's going to hold it down. Hey, I lost my job. You all we got right now. You know what I'm saying? And a wife is going to, like I said, take it on the chin, do what I got to do. That doesn't mean that she's going to become more, well, since I'm making the money, I get to determine what's going to happen with the family. Absolutely not. That's not how things are ran. That's how things have never been ran, right? It should be the man, the woman, then the kids. A lot of times in our society now, the kids are running the parents. So everything is completely backwards. And that goes to what you were saying with social media. We're seeing these things, and the younger generation are seeing like, oh, if you don't have a Lambo, then I can't even talk to you. Or if this girl is not stacked from head to toe, I'm not even trying to holler at her. Chances of a man going up to a woman now is a lot less. They're just sliding into DMs, right? Inbox. Hey, I saw you X, Y, and Z. Men are not being men nowadays. Therefore, women are seeing what's out there via social media. And that's what's determining how the society that we live in now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, both y'all points was very good. But I'll put it out there. I don't think there's anything wrong with women who do want to be taken care of. I don't think it's wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with women who want a man with a lot of money. I just think you have to be the direct representation of what you asked for, and not so much as, oh, if he has a lot of money, you have to have a lot of money, because there's plenty of dudes with money who will go wife up a chick that work at McDonald's, but she may make him feel some sort of way. So I wanted to go back to Brianna. Why do you think, and we're not saying that you're wrong for thinking what you think. I just want to know, like, what your mindset is, what causes you to think the way you are thinking. Why do you think you will have a little bit of a hard time submitting to a man who makes significantly less than you?
I don't think I would have a hard time. I just think that, like, I don't feel like I have a hard time. I think that, like, I don't know how to explain it. That's so weird. Let me piggyback. I don't mind dating a guy who makes less money than me. I don't mind that. But maybe it would be nice if he made a little bit more, or like as equal to me. That's all I'm saying. But it's no problem with him making less than me. Like,
right. Okay. So, but would you feel better if he made equal to you or more? Will you feel more secure? Or what's the hesitation? I think that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, what's the hesitation if he made less than you?
The hesitation.
Do you see him as less of a man? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
No, I want to see him less of a man. Because
Are you worried about what your friends gonna think?
Status.
Probably status.
You worried about what your mama and your sisters is gonna say? Are they happy? They in happy relationships?
So so it's like you compare. Hey, listen, I'm not saying you wrong. I just want to know why. That's it. No, don't disappear. Come back, man. I think that was her phone.
I would feel like if you happy with him, then it shouldn't matter what someone else thinks.
Facts.
I really think that that's her hesitation, is that she worried about what outsiders would think. You have to know that those outsiders not there. Worry about your own happiness.
I
Merch,
said if a man is on his grind, regardless of what his job is, he could be working at McDonald's, working 60, 80 hours a week, busting his butt to provide. That's a man that's worth you keeping because he's going to do whatever it takes to make ends meet. The problem is when you got these bums out here who don't have a job, don't want to get a job, and are dependent on a woman to take care of them and figure everything out. That is reverse. That's opposite. That's what a woman should be doing, not a man. So I think a lot of the time, a lot of people in our communities are picking these dudes who have nothing going for themselves because they got the swag, they look good, might got a few muscles on them, but at the end of the day, she's the one working 60 hours a day, and Buddy's at the home playing video games on the Xbox all day. Can't cook a meal. No, nothing's been done at the home. So that's where I think the men, and again, I think that goes back to the 50s and 60s. Back in the 50s and 60s, our people were hardworking people. We had nobody else to depend on. The community was strong. The man had to go work. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, whether if he had another family outside the house, whatever. They were still putting in the work. Yeah. My grandfather was in the shipyard putting in 60, 80 hours a week to make sure that my parents were good to go, and his wife. And that's the difference. Dudes nowadays don't want to put in the work, man. And to be honest, that women want to put in the work and men don't. And that's what I'm seeing as a whole. And that's me from a man. I'm pro man, pro everything. Yeah. And that's what I see in our society. Lazy, man. Men are lazy in general.
Yeah. I think the 10% is the 10% for a reason. But Merch Jackson, let me ask you, when you were looking for a wife or your mate, your soulmate, when you were out there looking, did you want a wife that wanted a career and who was willing to work as many hours as you, or did you want a wife who was more so focused on taking care of home and the children?
First and foremost, I wanted a woman that was going to be evenly yoked with me. So if my goal was to be a doctor and she's aiding me towards that way, then absolutely. So to answer your question, I would prefer my wife now. She's that times 10. She puts the battery in my back. She's out there grinding. She works as well from home, and she does well on her own. We do well together, and she was doing fine by herself before I met her. Now, had I met a woman that at McDonald's or something like that, I probably still would have took on somebody like that. However, I knew what I wanted, and I saw what I saw in my wife, and that's what allowed me to pursue her and like, hey, let's go ahead and get this done now because I know what you're going to be for me. You know what I'm saying? To get me to that next level, get us to that next level. Because I wholeheartedly believe I push her to do what she wants to do in her career and vice versa. So it's not like, well, you're on the back burner. I'm doing what I need to do, but you got to wait. No, it's all about family. So what's best for the family? Hey, we have time for you to go back to school and get to where we need to get to. Let's get it done. If I got to hold it down because you got to go to school or do whatever, that's what we're going to do. But that's what I think men and women should be looking for, the character traits. A lot of times people are looking at the physical aspects. Oh, he look good, or he can put it down, or she look good, or she can put it down. But long term, is that going to be compatible for you and your vision? Or is it just something for right now? And would express.
My views have drastically changed from a young man to now, and the kind of woman that I ultimately wanted to be with, because I realized that the more successful and the more money I started to make, the less I would prefer my woman to work. Now, my woman can do what she wants to do. I'm not stopping her from doing anything, but the kind of lifestyle that we live, it really doesn't really allow her to do so. You dig what I'm saying? And I think it, like I said, you have to do what's best for your particular household. So me, I like a woman who is going to who knows how to get a bag. But if you know, because and I also understand that things can be taken away from you in a blink of an eye. Something can happen, you know, it is what it is. But I think now, like I used to say that, you know, I wanted a woman who would hustle hard, just as hard as me out in the streets. But now I don't want that. That's just me though. I don't want that. I want a woman who can hustle well and make this house a home, but she can hustle from the house. And then we can go out and travel the world together because that's a priority to me. That's important to me. But whatever works for the household is what y'all should adhere to. I'm going to go ahead and play this next clip. Let me see. Here we go. All right.
You can do them at both. You can go to school and prioritize learning how to work with a man at the same time. Okay? That whole idea of put boys on a back burner and focus on your education, that's false. And that's why so many of us find ourselves post 30 and single, myself included. All right, so the next slide says, one of the biggest lies I was ever told as a young girl is that you have to be independent, otherwise your man will up and leave you high and dry with nothing. Now, as an adult, looking at the life of the woman who said that to me, independence has done her no favors. Interesting. And
all right, I'm gonna stop it right there. Is it a fear? Is it a fear? Is that motivating some women to not put finding a good man first? Do you think it's the fear of being left alone? A man's gonna leave you. He's not no good. As soon as he get his bag, he gonna up and leave you for a white girl. I've heard this numerous times from several different women. So I don't. What do y'all think? I'm gonna start with Danny D, aka my sister's keeper.
I don't know if it's the fear that he gonna up and leave you for a white girl, but definitely being left destitute if you don't have a way to make your own money and you're dependent completely on him. I mean, it's always a possibility no matter what. So I mean, maybe.
Okay. Brianna, are women nowadays scared that a man is going to leave them? Is that why they don't prioritize marriage and family over getting the bag first?
No, I don't think that they're afraid that like a man's gonna leave them. I think that they prioritize. I'm sorry. I think that they prioritize. Uh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Is the trappers over there? Are they coming to get you right now? What's
No,
going
I'm
on?
sorry. I was
Blink
about to
twice
say-
if you need me to call the cops on some the baby ish. Don't make me do the baby because I will do the baby. Do I need to hit the baby right now and call the cop? You good over there? I'm gonna come back to you, Merce Jackson. I'm gonna come back to Bree, but go, Merce Jackson. What do you think? Do you think a lot of women are scared to be with a man, to try to find a good man and prioritize that over getting a bag? Are they in fear of a man leaving?
Absolutely. Yeah, they are. I mean, scarcity. You attract what you are. So if you don't think you're adequate for something, then chances are, if you got something and you don't think you are able to hold on to that thing, that's a scarcity mindset. So yeah, absolutely.
I actually think this goes both ways. Honestly, I think I don't think that's just women. I think that's men too. I think that's why a lot of men especially men who are not doing good for themselves, has such commitment issues because they do have a scarcity mindset. They know that they are not living up to their potential. They know they are not working hard enough. That's why, like, if you watch them shows like 600 Pound Life, and you know, some of them guys, when they women go get the surgery, they be tripping because they worry once they get skinny, another dude gonna take her. Listen, a woman can be 500 pounds and still cheat or get with another dude. I mean, it is what it is. And she can be 150 pounds and do the same thing. You have to make sure you good. So, I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with her on that point, but I think it's not just women on that point. I think that's dudes too. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. Go ahead, Brianna. Did the goons leave?
I'm back. I'm back.
You remember the question?
You may have to repeat the question one more time. I'm so sorry.
Do you think women are scared to get into relationships because a man wait, was that the question? Yeah, because a man might leave.
No, I don't think women are scared to get into a relationship because the man might leave. I think it's because of like earlier, like I was saying, how some, not all women, but how some women was brought up, never trust a man, never do this, never do that. So that's where that I feel like that comes from, but not
Okay.
from fear.
Let me ask you a question because I'm gonna clip this moment up. As a 23-year-old woman, black woman, what is your ideal man?
Okay,
If you could create a man, you
okay, if
got
I
a
could
whole
create a
bunch of
man,
items right now. You could create the perfect man or almost perfect man. What would he have? What are the three most important factors? And keep it real. Don't say what you think that you supposed to say. Keep it real. What are the most three important factors that you would pick first for that man to have?
I want him to be educated. I want him to be hardworking, and I want him to be. I'm missing one. Oh my god! Educated, hardworking, and a provider. Like, know how to hold the household down and be a man like that. So those are the three for me at
Okay,
23.
say it one more time for me. Say
So
it
I
one
want
more.
him to be educated. I want him to be a provider, and I want him to educated provider. Dang. Well, I always forget one. Oh my god.
You said
Educated
educated,
provider.
provider,
Provider.
Hardworking.
And hardworking. Yes, I want him to be like
so you sure
motivated,
those are the first
hardworking.
three things, the most important factors? You sure? I'm asking you. I just want to make sure you sure.
Yes, I'm gonna submit. Yes, that's my answer.
So if he looked like this and had all these qualities,
Buddy.
are you still going with him?
No.
Okay.
Now, CJ, you know.
What? The guy got all the. I asked you to pick the most three important things to you. That, you know what I'm saying? I asked you to pick the most three important things. So looks is not important at all. So that's why I pulled up those pictures, because I want, if he looked like that but had all the things that the first three things you just named, it wouldn't matter. But clearly it does.
You always get me, CJ.
You only gave her 3.
To do with the hair.
No.
I didn't say
I
I
think
didn't.
about it like this: if I take away an educated man, but he look good, that ain't serving no purpose. You know what I mean? Like, that's tough. I don't want to do that. I'd rather date. Now, I ain't date nobody that unattractive. The picture you just posted, but I would rather date somebody who's not that attractive with the ideal body. I would rather date somebody who's average, educated.
Mm.
What do you mean educated though? That can mean
Anything.
Yeah.
What I mean by educated, like you're not dumb. Like, some people just don't have common sense. Like, have some common sense. Like, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, common knowledge about certain things.
So you're not
Like
saying
that.
4-year degree, 2-year degree, or a trade. You're just saying common sense.
Um, Yes, I'm gonna say common sense because you don't need a degree. A degree don't determine like how educated and stuff you are. Like it's a lot of successful people who did not go to school and they make a lot of money, but they're
Mhm.
very smart and they know how to do things that a lot of people who went to 4 years or 8 years in school can't do.
That's what I was asking. Just wanted to clarify.
All right. Well, you know what, Danny D, I'm gonna ask you the same. When you was out here single, what was the most three important factors that you look for in a mate?
I wanted him to be loving. I wanted him to be God fearing, and I wanted him to be a leader. I didn't think about having a provider at all. I like to work, so I end up with men who are providers, but that wasn't a requirement for me.
Merce Jackson, same to you. What do you think the first three important qualities you looked for in a woman?
And a woman, about to say, man.
Oh no,
Uh,
man. I wouldn't play you like that.
in a woman, actually, to be honest, when I found my wife, I found my mother, which is crazy. And that goes back to the thing that men are looking for their mothers and women are looking for their fathers if they were there. So my mother was a hardworking woman. She was educated, hardworking, and a homemaker. And like I said, those qualities to me, the things that I was looking for in a wife. There was people I was dating all over the place, like that wasn't it, that wasn't it. But when I met my wife, I immediately knew that my mom would like her. I immediately knew that this is who I was going to be with. It was her character, a person who's not going to be. You can tell if somebody's, I guess, loose in the streets or real. She was very standoffish.
Mhm.
She was a hardworking, and she was submissive.
Mm.
I would say those three things: submissive, hardworking, and I forgot what was the other one I said now. I don't know. She reminded me a lot of my mom, and which was the same thing I was looking for, obviously, and I found that evenly yoked as well.
Okay. I think if I could pick my three, um, the three biggest qualities now, um, within like the last few years would be loyalty,
Mm.
um, her being domesticated, and her also being able to, because I don't want to say work hard, because I don't need a woman that works as hard as me, but um, a woman with the ability to 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 step if things went left, she
Had to.
knows how to, yeah, she knows how to handle things accordingly. You dig what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, so I'm gonna get to the next part in the video. Get to the next part in the video. Uh, but while I'm pulling that up, y'all, guess where I just booked another trip to? We going
CJ, where
to
you going?
we going to London.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to London next year. We flying there, and we gonna cruise 14 days from London to Miami.
Yeesh.
Shout
Sounds
out,
good.
shout out to the nurse gang.
Hey.
Um, all right, hold on. Let me get this queued up again. Let me see. I'm gonna be eating beans and toast. All right, and shout out to Lady A. All right, let's get it.
Yo, I talk a lot about the color purple syndrome. I talk a lot about Diary of a Mad Black Woman and all those movies who push this narrative to young girls. If you don't get your own, if you don't secure your bag, your man is going to eventually leave you for a younger, hotter virgin. And then we go in relationship with this fear. Say, hey, I have to have my own. I have to secure my bag. Get my own private money, my own private bank account that my man don't know about. I was told that growing up. Never make a man know how much you make. Always have your savings because a man can leave you like that. That fear that we put in our young girls to be afraid of our partners, afraid of our counterparts. we're supposed to be building community with, building families with. We were told, be careful, be aware, have your own, secure your own, be independent. Because when the enemy, men, especially black men, when he decides to leave you, he's just going to get up and leave you with nothing. So make sure you have your stack. That is such a toxic advice to give. And
All right, I want to stop it right there. So I want to get y'all thoughts. Have black women been taught that black men are their enemy?
Hmm.
Whoever wants to take that. Have black women been taught that black men are their enemy? You want to take it, Brianna?
I gotta answer this on camera, CJ. I'm just playing. But yeah, yeah,
I mean, because
yes.
you got media forums, the color purple. She said the color purple syndrome and the whole wait and the exhale movement and the whole down low movement. You know, it's a lot of movement with a lot of negative connotations of black men. You know, we got the Tyler Perry movies, and shout out to Tyler Perry. But you know, the Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and we are no way saying that this is not some women's reality, because some women are taking place in this reality. But I think it gets out of control when we say that black men. I think they like to try to group all of us up as one. So yeah, whoever wants to go.
To be honest, I think it's collectively. I think it's women in general, and yeah, it may be more predominant in African American women, maybe, but I think that's across the board, and I think that has more to do with the feminists that's constantly progressing or what have you. So, but as far as being an enemy to the black man, I think they do it out of spite. I never had it, so you're never gonna have it. So this is what you need to watch out for. Don't ever trust a man X, Y, and Z. And from a personal experience, my mom was never like that, and my wife's mother was never like that. And I think it did. I think it is. But they both came from both parents who
Mm,
had a healthy relationship dynamic. And I think that's the bigger issue is that 1 in 4 families, black families, have one parent in the home. It's typically the mother. So the mother is having to be mom and dad. A woman cannot be a father, and she can't
mhm.
teach a boy how to be a man. Therefore, she's going to teach the boy how to be more feminine. This is what you need to do. This is what women are looking for. So you need to act accordingly. And I think that's what's happened throughout the course of the last 20, 30 years is the feminizing of men and more, I guess, quote unquote, masculine energy of women because of that dynamic.
Mm. Danny D. Now, Daniel, I've known you for a minute. I've never ever heard you say anything negative about black men. As a matter of fact, I hear you praising black men quite often. So, but I mean, with your sisters, your girlfriends, you know, maybe your family members. I don't know. Do you think it has been set up systemically for black women to look at black men as their enemy?
I don't know about systemically being set for them to be looked at as our enemy, but I would say systemically to be looked at as useless.
Mm,
Um, I I've never heard that a black man is my enemy.
mm,
I've been taught that they're my partner. Um, how can a person be your partner and your enemy? If you're being taught that this person is your enemy, why are you seeking that man to be your partner? Like that just made my head hurt. Like that don't even make sense to me. I think systemically they have been torn down, and our men don't like school, and they took the trades. They gave women things and told them they can't have a man. So I think that they rendered the black man useless to women, but I don't necessarily think that they made him our enemy. I think that women make choices and choose men that aren't fit to be chosen. And those women make those men their enemy, and then they spew that hate because they didn't make good decisions.
Oh.
It's just bitterness, I would believe. So I think that they did that themselves by making bad choices. And then they blamed that man for being who they are instead of themselves for making those choices.
Danny, I'm surprised I didn't see you comment or make a video. I was waiting for your commentary over Danny Lee and the baby, because you said a lot of stuff that pertain to that, and I was waiting for your videos, but you ain't put none out.
I don't even know really what happened with that. I don't even.
Okay, well, to make a long story short, apparently they have been dating a while. Well, and she got pregnant, and she had his baby. But he wanted her to get out. He claims that she was never the side chick. Well, she claims that she was his girl. The baby says, no, you was just my side B. And now it was this whole thing for about 3 days, but people have pretty much forgotten about it now, I think. But yeah, but you had said something about the choices that we make. And then once we make those bad choices, we spew that hate for everybody to see. So everybody was talking about how the baby is this. And then I saw many posts pointing at black men. See, this is how black men do us. Black men do us like the baby and Future and all that kind of stuff. Black men, black men, black men. And I said, boy, this finna be a rough week for us. But I mean, in the media anyway. But I think you made a great point. That's why I even brought that back up, because I was I think I think you are 100% correct on that one.
My pet peeve is that when stuff happen with us, we put the word black in front of it. I think we should remove that and just say men, because everything that black men do, white men definitely do that.
So you mean like black crime?
Yes.
Black crime. 100%.
I mean, even just men dating women and leaving them for a younger woman, to me, that's more of a white man's thing. That's not. I don't think black men do that. I don't know that I would see that. And if it is, maybe if it's not a race of a white person, then that's maybe a person that has like a lot of money and is looking to keep a certain look, like what was the Playboy guy? Hugh Hefner. Like he does that. Or Diddy. Diddy does that.
Yeah.
So it's not to me, that's not a race. That's like I don't even know what you would call that, but that's not a race. That's not a race that does those things. White men definitely leave their women and leave them with nothing. White men definitely create babies and don't take care of them. Everything that we saying that black men do, every man does that. That's just a man thing.
I 100% agree with you. Especially with the black narrative, like, and I'm not trying to spin this, and I'm gonna bring it right back. But since you brought it up, I have to say it. I hate the term black on black crime. To me, that is the craziest term. That is a term made up by a certain group of people to try to push a narrative. When those school shootings happen in those white communities, when those Asians kill each other, you've never ever heard the term white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime. Right. When that Mexican man over in Cancun was shooting at the resort and was shooting at them other Mexican guys, you never heard the term Hispanic on Hispanic crime. It's crime. Crime is crime. Crime is crime. Yeah. I hate that term. I hate that term.
It's my blood going as well, man.
Yeah.
People don't know. People who are on Section 8 the most are not black folks.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunately that's what's put out there. That narrative that black men aren't anything, black women are this. There's constant in society and in mainstream media, black women are constantly portrayed a certain way, and black men are constantly portrayed a certain way, and it is to the detriment of our people, our culture, people, whatever you want to call it. It's to the detriment of the people of melanated skin.
110% agree. I really do. Brianna, is there anything you want to add?
No, I actually agree with everything everybody was saying. They make some very great points, and they make me think a lot, and I like that.
Bet. All right, cool.
And so many black women receive that advice, and then now we look at men as the enemy. We have our guards up when we enter these relationships, and can't enter these relationships in good faith because this was drilled in our head. Get your education, get your bag, get your job, be independent so you can stand on your own, when we all know interdependence is what we need to have families, to pass on generations. This is such a toxic thing to teach our young girls. The next slide says, they teach us trust no man rather than showing us how to marry the right man who will never put us in that type of situation. Please don't project your insecurities and unhealthy perception of men onto your daughters and other young girls simply because of the men you choose.
Okay, I'm gonna hold that right there. Somebody made a comment that I thought was interesting. Maybe Danny D, you're good for having knowledge like this. She said in 2011, 360,000 black babies were aborted. CDC statistics for 2011 show that abortion is the leading cause of death among blacks. Would you like to respond to that? I only said you because I know you good with stuff like this. Just wanted to know your thoughts.
Hold on, come back to me.
Merce Jackson, you want to respond to that? What do you think about that?
Repeat that one more time. Sorry, bro.
I was reading this comment that Gloria Miller put up. She said in 2011, 360,000 black babies were aborted. CDC statistics for 2011 show that abortion is the leading cause of death among blacks.
I mean, facts are facts. And it's unfortunate because, so this is the thing. I think, yes, we're the leading cause of death for black babies is 365,000 black babies were aborted. Wow. That's disheartening. So, I don't even know what to think about that, to be honest, because that is disheartening. I think a lot of people are going that route because, for one, not able to afford it. You know, big family kids are expensive. I have 4 kids. My wife and I, we have 4 kids, and knowing that you're not able, for one, if you don't want to have kids, wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to have kids, there is you have birth control, right? So there's no reason why we should not be having kids at this alarming rate or abortions at this alarming rate, right? Because birth control is what, like maybe $15 a month?
It's free at clinics.
Free. How much are condoms? I don't even know. I haven't used them.
They give them out for free too.
So they give them.
I haven't used them.
So think about that. Our community is the highest in abortion rates. 365,000 kids are aborted every year in the United States. So if that's the case, we must be doing something completely wrong. Is it a mentality? Is it, to be honest, it is disheartening Because if I had aborted one of my kids, man, I don't know what I would do. As a man, hey, we're gonna have to figure it out. That ain't the route we're going. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? And it comes down to responsibility. We're so irresponsible.
All
Can I
right,
make a comment?
go ahead.
So, about the abortion thing, I just want to put it out there. I do understand what the CDC is saying about the alarming rate for the abortion in 2011, but within that number, have anybody thought about like why have like in depth why do people get them abortions? Like a lot of times, sometimes it don't even be financial. Some women get raped. Some women, you know, go through other things, or you know what I mean, like stuff like that. So I think like I think like this, like sometimes it's not always about like financial or irresponsibility. Some things really do happen. Like that makes sense.
I agree, but I think the majority of it is financial because when it comes to the rape, all that, I think it's a lower percentage of this percentage of babies that are aborted. I think it's Pookie and Ray Ray's out here having kids with pretty much everybody, and we're gonna figure it out. That ain't who I wanted. I just wanted him for the night, and this is what it is. I gotta go get what I gotta get. To be honest,
Hmm. Danny D, are you ready yet, or you still
Oh
need more?
yeah. No, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I understand that they keep saying that we have the highest rate, and I guess it's the highest rate because we are the smallest population,
mm.
but we actually don't have the highest rate.
Mm.
White women actually have more abortion. It's just more white people. So when you look at it percentage wise, our percentage is higher based upon our population. White
Mm.
women have always had the highest abortion rate. I think black people just started creeping up to becoming like high or higher. That just happened in the past couple of years. So I just wanted to say that. Um, so that's another thing about the black thing. We keep putting black on there, like other races don't have abortion.
Mm.
I appreciate.
So yeah, I don't. I do think it's disheartening that we have abortion, but again, everyone does it. Why? Why are we putting? Why do we put such a spotlight on ourselves?
Mm.
Like I know they say you have to know the problem to fix the problem, but the problem is not the abortion. The problem is what is making the women want to get an abortion.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. They shutting abortion down in Texas because so many white women are getting abortions.
Tech,
Um, I mean that's just what it is. There's a lot of
Yeah.
white women running up in there getting abortions, and they said, "Oh no," because I mean when you really think about it, if it was a whole bunch of black people going to get abortions like that, do you think they would be in any rush to shut them down?
No.
I mean, let's keep it real. I'm not trying to throw my conspiracy hat on, but
No.
let's keep it 100. Texas said, "No, sir. Our numbers are dwindling.
mm.
Our numbers are dwindling. We about to shut this down. No more. You having white babies. You're gonna have them. Not here. You ain't gonna abort them here." But yeah, I thought that was I thought that was interesting that she put that though, but because I didn't really see what that had to do with anything. I think I appreciate the comment,
Mm.
but I didn't see what it had to do with anything. Well, maybe she was referring to the black on black crime, but I still don't see what that had to do with anything. But I appreciate it though. Let me see if I'm gonna get back to Miss to her clip.
I say this time and time again. Unfortunately, my mom and the woman who raised me passed on, so I'm unable to have these conversations with them. But a lot of times, I wish they had taught me how to vet, how to choose a man, what qualities to look for in a man, instead of teaching me, have your guards up, never trust a man, don't trust any man. It would have.
Are we doing a poor job of teaching women how to choose a man? Now, I don't have any children. I don't have a daughter, so I can't really speak on it. But if I had like I got a cousin or something like that, I can give my advice of what I think. But from birth, childhood to adulthood, are women being told how to choose the correct man? Merce Jackson, do you have daughters?
I have one daughter,
Okay, you got a daughter. Perfect.
boys, one girl. She is the
Awesome.
oldest, and again, I think that goes back to the home. The majority of our homes, unfortunately, are ran by nothing but women, right? So the women who are in the home, I don't know, collectively, I don't know what the statistics are. I don't like to talk unless I have the facts, but
Mhm.
the majority of our households in the community are ran by women. Therefore, the ideology is going to be that of a woman. So if I want to tread lightly. I don't think it is taught. To me personally, I think it's taught with principles, religion, and morals. How you find a wife, how you become a wife, how you become whatever it is, a man. I think that's taught via religion, principles, and morals, and that's taught in your childhood. If you're taught one thing and then you see another, then that's going to contrast what your beliefs, and therefore you're going to believe however you want to believe. And in the society we live in now, we are just, I mean, society as we know it as today is social media. Social media, whatever you see, that's what you believe.
Mm.
Every belief now for kids is coming from social media. The person that you follow, the Logan Ryans, the athletes, that's who you are trusting in. A lot of kids are not going to their parents for advice. They're going to the people who they follow. And that's just the fact of the matter.
Mm. Danny D, do you think women are not being taught how to pick men properly?
I don't think they're being taught at all.
Mm.
I think I wasn't told what to look for in a man.
Mm.
I just went out here and trusted myself on what I wanted. Um,
Do you
I
think
know
it would
how I
have
want to
helped
be
you on your
treated.
search? Do you do you think it would have helped, or do you think it wouldn't have made a difference if you if somebody said, "Well, this is what you should be looking for in a man. This, and this." Would it have made a
It depends
difference?
on who was saying it and what they had. Even when I was a kid, it's always it's not just what you say, it's who's saying it. It's like what type of life you living to be telling me what type of life or how to find the life I'm living. Like I didn't see nobody living the life I wanted to live.
Mm.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
watched Seventh Heaven in Dawson's Creek, living
Hey,
on Linwood and Davidson. So watching those shows, I didn't see that living where I was living. Um,
When I see their happy faces smiling back at me, seven heaven. Mm.
yeah. So I mean,
glory days.
man, I got teased by my brother because he was watching Martin.
Mm.
I ain't really care for Martin. Um,
I
I
know
don't know if it
somebody.
would have helped me find anybody. The only advice I got was when I was going off to college, one of my cousins was like, "Don't come back here with no white guy."
That's funny. Um, yeah. Seven. I didn't watch Dawson's Creek. Um, I was young when I was out, but Seventh Heaven. I used to watch Seventh Heaven back in the day. The actor that plays the dad is a slime ball. Didn't they have a black kid too? Didn't they like adopt a black child? Or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I ain't never seen no black kid on there.
Okay, all right. Brianna, are you still there? Did the goons get you?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Same question to you. Do you think women are it's dark. Nah, they done got her, y'all. Do you think women are not being taught how to properly choose men? Were you taught to how to properly vet and choose a man?
No, I was not taught at all. No. I'm gonna be honest. Mama, I'm sorry if you're watching this. I wasn't taught. Like I just was not taught in these streets. So
Do, do you
now
think
that
it would
I've
have helped? Do you think it would have helped? Like, is your dad around? I mean, not you don't have to respond, but like, do you think
yeah,
it would?
my dad is fully in my life. My dad always been in my life since I
Okay,
came out the
okay,
womb. He always been there.
cool.
Um, I feel like I like the conversations me and my dad have about men and stuff like that. I'm very grateful and thankful for that because I need that, and I realized how much I need that. Like as I got older and stuff like that. But like as far as being taught, because I grew up in the house with my mother. No, I wasn't taught about how to choose a man, and I probably wouldn't have went through a lot of situations at a young age that I went through with these little boys, not men, these boys,
Hmm.
if
Mm,
I was taught how to properly choose a man, the right man. Like that's how I feel.
mm. All right. Merce Jackson, like okay, so with your daughter, what are important qualities that you would say that you've told her over the years to look for when choosing somebody that she wants to be with?
Like I said, she's mad young.
Oh,
Just,
oh, she's young. Oh, I thought you said she was the oldest. I'm sorry.
nah, taking notice. She's
Okay,
9
okay. Oh, all right. You
and
muted.
a gymnast. So the
Okay.
stuff to her right now is know who she is, because her mom, like I said, I'm a firm believer in I cannot teach a girl how to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I stress that to my wife, her mom, all the time. There's stuff she's gonna have to conversations she's gonna have to have with her that I cannot have with her, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. When it comes to my boys, I know how to raise boys. Yo, this is what we doing X, Y, and Z. But when it comes to my baby girl, she's gonna know exactly what she should look for, what she should expect, because I believe that a woman, a girl, her first, um, her first hero or what have you should be her dad, and that's what I strive to be. The man that I want my wife to, I mean, my daughter to marry, I want him to be like me.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's working hard, somebody who's going to provide, somebody who is going to do whatever it takes to make sure that the family is taken care of. And that's first and foremost, and God fearing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of faith, hard work, masculinity, what have you, and how she knows. And I make sure that her mom teaches her how to respond and respect her brothers. I make sure that she serves her brothers. And a lot of that does not happen in homes that don't have the father. And unfortunately, because I didn't raise up my dad in my house, but my stepdad stepped in at the age of 11. But I'm making sure that she knows what a man is. So Ray and Pookie can't come around from the corner and be like, oh, they got the new Jordans on, the new Yeezys, or whatever it is, the new, right? And sweep her off her feet. It's like, oh, she's gonna have a mechanism to see. Oh, do you have X, Y, and Z? What is your plan for the future? Are you going to college? You have to have some type of goals,
Mm.
and that's the main thing that I instill into my daughter is goals. If he's if he doesn't mirror what I am, then that's not what it is. Eventually, when she gets older, obviously, but yeah.
You brought up Ray Ray and Pookie. I want to ask Danielle. Danielle, are you familiar with the term Ray Ray and Pookie?
I mean, I got an idea about what it could mean.
Okay, cool. Have you ever dated a Ray Ray or a Pookie?
Okay, now I need a description. Like they just like trash guys from the hood doing nothing. Okay, no, then no.
Okay. Okay. Merch Jackson, what would you consider a Ray Ray or Pookie?
What she just described.
All right. So you said no, you've never dated a Ray Ray or Pookie? Okay,
No.
cool. Brianna, have you
Yeah.
ever dated a Ray Ray or a Pookie?
Have I dated a Ray Ray or a Pookie? Is that like a hood man?
A hood, I don't want to call them hood, but I guess since it's Ray Ray and Pookie, we got to find a name for the white equivalent of we gonna
Mark
call a white one
Jeff.
Mark and Jeff, Hank, something like that.
Hank.
But yeah, have you ever dated a hood dude? Don't got much going for him, you know.
Oh yeah,
Kinda,
I have. Oh yeah.
She said, "Oh yeah, wow."
what was it about the Ray Ray and the Pookie that made him stand out to make you say, "Man, I want to date Ray Ray and Pookie"?
It was
You said it was a what?
it was the talk game, it was the talk. A lot of, especially guys my age, they just be talking. So sometimes a guy can talk a good game, and then you fall for it, you think it's all good. You're like, oh, okay. And then you really get to know him, you're like, oh damn, this is a bad decision. Oh my God. So I think that's what it was for the Ray Ray and the Pook, cause I don't want to put nobody on the spot. Oh my God, I just about to put somebody on the spot. I forgot we live.
Yeah, we laugh. Don't do that.
Oh, I'm about to put somebody on the spot. I'm sorry. But
So
yes, I have.
Okay, because we're talking about choosing. Do you think because I asked this to the panel last week, to the ladies that were on the panel last week, and I it's awesome that we got a fresh set of ladies up here because I can ask them. Do you think that a lot of women steer away from nerds at a younger age, or men who will be perceived as nerds, somebody who has his face in the books at a real young age, real concerned about his career, not really the popular guy, not out in the streets. He's concerned about the future, though. Do you think a lot of those guys are unattractive at an early age? Like, what do you think about that? Whichever lady wants to take it. I'm gonna start with Brianna. Brianna,
Yes.
were you not feeling the nerds?
Actually, I was feeling the nerds. One of I could say like my high school like love or my first love, whatever you want to call it. He was a strict nerd with the thickest glasses they sell, bifocals,
how,
and I was just so happy.
how was his hairline?
CJ, not the hairline.
How was his hairline? Because that's going to determine if he was a true nerd.
He had a lot of rough days and months. But then it was times where he got his hair cut, so it was a pretty fairly decent hairline, I would say. But he was just a nerd. He was always in his books, always studying, always wearing like I liked it nerds. I never thought nerds was corny. Like I always went for the thick glasses and the big book bag and yeah.
So why didn't it work out?
With me and a nerd,
Uh-huh.
we started like growing up, and like the older you get, he changed. He went from a nerd to a thug, in less than 12 months. I said, what's going on here? So that didn't work out with me. Yeah. I mean, he went straight from a nerd to the books to talking about trapping and the rest of the ABCD. And I couldn't get with it because I like nerds. So I'm looking at him like he crazy. And he came to me one day, whole total different person. Chain on his neck, pants to his kneecaps, these new sneakers. I'm used to the turned over sneakers, the black book bag, and so yeah.
That's an East Coast term for real. Sneakers. We
Yeah,
don't
he
we
the
don't say
sneakers.
sneakers out here. We say shoes, but sneakers. Where you from, Merce Jackson?
Texas.
Say, do they
Houston.
say sneakers out there?
Yeah, we say sneakers.
Okay, yeah.
Kicks. Now, I mean, personally, down where I'm at, we say kicks.
Okay, kicks, cool. Yeah, I've never heard the term sneakers in Michigan. Um, always shoes, but yeah, that's interesting. So, at what point did you start dating the thugs? Then,
I
Brianna?
started dating the thugs, as I got older because I'm gonna be
And
honest with you.
uh huh,
Um, the sometimes I'm talking about the thugs with money, not the thugs without the money. But the thugs with money sometimes, they getting, quick money. They getting, they got. I don't know how to explain it. Damn, I got to keep remember we on live. They just getting quick money, and that sometimes like that can attract the younger female. You know what I mean? Like
sure. Hmm. No,
so.
I'm not knock. Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. What was it about the? So, at what point did you find out the thug isn't what you wanted, or wasn't probably the best decision? Because you could still like thugs. Do you still like thugs? Are you into thugs still now, or what's the deal?
Your preference.
No, 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 no. I got a taste of that lifestyle. Like I've really got a taste of that lifestyle, and I had to sit to myself. I'm like, this ain't what I want. You know what I mean? Like you gotta sometimes wake up. Sometimes like sometimes I could be asleep, but then you gotta wake up. So I had to wake up and really just think about like, nah, this is not. This ain't it. And you
Mm,
want more, especially like I remember my dad sit me down. He like you know, he like you're you have a great path ahead of you. Like you always been motivated. You want to go to school. You're in school. What do you look like being with somebody like that? Your partner is a reflection of you. And
Mm.
that and like sometimes my mom could say stuff to me and it would sit with me. But if my dad say anything to me, I will remember it for the rest of my life, and it's crazy. So when he said that to me, I'm thinking like, wow, like this is stuck with me, and that's what made me want to start going for, a, try to go for a different caliber of men and leave the thugs alone. Thugs alone.
bet, bet. Okay. The video is almost done, so I'm gonna go back to it and we'll discuss that. Hold on. Okay.
I would have benefited so much if I had learned how to choose a man rather than not trust any man. And I'm using my space to pass this to put a stop to this narrative, to open our eyes as black women and see how we were set up. And I don't think it was intentionally done. I don't think my mom was like, oh, let me set her up to not have a man and tell her not trust no man. I think my mom didn't choose properly. She didn't vet properly, and then she kept on attracting undesirable men to her. So then to save me, she said, hey girl, don't trust no man, instead of saying vet properly. All right. So I don't think all of this was intentionally done, not on our parents' part at least. Maybe if you go generations back, it probably was. Because there's a letter that I don't want to mention. That talks about this and talks about how it divides the black community. But this mindset is what keeps so many of us single, unmarried. And then somebody else commented and said, having a man that provides solution to my problems is top tier masculine energy that I require.
Mm,
I don't have to worry and go into survival mode, which creates space for me to thrive in my femininity.
Mm.
mm.
Yeesh.
Um, Merce Jackson, what do you think about what she just spoke?
Well, again, twofold. Living in your femininity is going to determine how you were raised. So, with that being said, yes. So her mother told her truth, right? So women, men, they all lie. We can only tell our experiences. So this is my experiences with X, Y, and Z. Therefore, I'm gonna tell you what my experiences were. So yeah, women can, especially black women, to be honest, I ain't trying to save anybody. I'm telling the facts. Black women have had it the hardest, period. No cap. Straight up. Black women had had it harder than Hispanic women, Asian women, white women, European, what however you want to go. Black women are at the bottom of the totem pole in general. Therefore, they're going to have to dig out of the bottom to compete to a higher extent for even their own men, black men, right?
Mm.
I understand that. My mom is a solid woman, you know what I mean? And my dad wasn't what he was supposed to be. So that's just what it is. But when you're at the lower end of the spectrum, it's going to require you being 10 times more the woman, man, or whatever it is. Next. So, same thing with black men. Black
Mhm.
men are at the bottom of the totem pole. That's what we got to realize. Oh, well, color doesn't matter, race doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. We came to this country as property. We're still working to get civil rights or certain rights as the color of your skin. That's my perspective, right? So if you're
Mm.
starting at the bottom of the totem pole, that means you're gonna have to work twice as hard to get to where Hector is. You're gonna have to work 4 times as hard to get to where Chad is. That's my mentality. I
Mhm.
know I'm gonna have to outwork every single person in my life who looks different than I am.
Mm. Yeah.
That's fact. That's not me speculating. Or well, yeah, well we have the most rights that people of color have ever had. That's irrelevant because as we see how the system was set up. It was set up for a specific type of person, unfortunately. And I think that's what the sister was saying is that she doesn't look at black men as like they just trash this and that. It's a difference. When you start from here and you start from here, there's a difference.
Mhm.
If you start from here and you have to go to school, be on your proper, speak properly, like I have, right? You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do to get to here to even the playing field. The playing field is now up here. You have to do everything 100% correct in order to match that. And that's where I think we are at as a society. Do I fault black women or black men? No, it's a system, unfortunately. And we're seeing that collectively worldwide that people are coming out speaking out on this and that.
Mhm.
I won't go too deep into that, but I think that it's more systemic, but we have to encourage our own people to do better. Some
Mhm.
people, oh, I don't see color. I see color. I see color because other people see me as color.
Yeah.
That's a fact. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree 100% with that. So, all right, I'm gonna ask the panel. What do y'all think are the solutions versus? I know you said that we need to teach. We need to teach us each other how to seek better. Are there any other important things that you think we should do as a people, as a group, in order to put us in a better headspace when it comes to relationships between the black man and the black woman? Um, but before y'all answer that, Brianna, I want to get your thoughts on what she said too about being independent. I mean, being about how the man, when he's doing what he's supposed to do, when she can rely on him, it puts her in her feminine. Have you ever experienced anything like that before with a guy where you know that if you called him, you know, your boyfriend, not your pops, but like, you know, if you called your man, he was gonna do whatever he could to make it happen, and that burden is being taken off you. Have you ever experienced that?
Yes, if I'm going to be honest, I have experienced that. Somebody from the past, I know for a fact that um, anything that I needed, anything, the most craziest thing could happen, and he would make sure that it's taken care of and as such. So, I have in the past have experienced that before. Yes.
Okay. And what was that like? Were you more in your feminine? Do you feel like you could be more of the woman since you didn't have to worry about so much stuff? Or what was that like?
Yeah, I was definitely more in my feminine, and it put more ease on me. Like I said, like it just make you less stressed. But um, obviously, he was older, and he was just he had the providing. I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but he was just naturally a provider. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Is that the kind of man you want? Someone who's naturally going to provide?
I would say yes.
Mm. So I'm gonna ask a question that my homie Kevin Samuels asked.
Yeah.
If you could be
Uh oh.
responsible for a certain amount, what you thought about the ask you, your dress size or something like that? No, no. If you could be responsible for a certain amount of bills in the household for the rest of your life, what would it be? What percentage of the bills would you want to be responsible for the rest of your life?
Man,
Keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it real.
100.
Uh, okay, and like I said, I said this in the past too. I do believe in 50-50. However, when you get a taste of somebody telling you we don't gotta go 50-50, I got it.
Mm.
It kind of changed your mindset. But if I would answer your question, I would say I could take on 50% of the bills. Like I could take on
No,
half of
no,
the
not
bills.
no, 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 not what you could do. What do you want to do?
Oh, what do I what?
Not what you
Yes.
could do. What would you want? What percentage of the bills do you want to be responsible for the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life. Ugh. Dang, can we drop that 50 down? Can we do at least like 45, 30?
Whatever you want. It's what you want. What do you want?
I would say, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all, 45. We're gonna keep it at 45.
That's cap. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just
You
call it
said,
nah.
oh,
That's definitely
see,
cap.
y'all.
You're
Oh
not gonna just
my god.
drop from 50 to drop to 45 from 50.
That's
Keep it
5%.
real. What percentage of the bills do you really want to be responsible for? Keep it a buck.
1,000.
I'm telling you, I'm being real. 45 is the number.
So
I
you
could
want to be
do.
so you want to be responsible for the rest of your life for almost half the bills. Have the mortgage, have the car note, have the all that. You want to be responsible for
Mm.
almost half the bills for the next, let's just say you're going to live to be 80, 85 for the rest of your natural life. You want to be responsible for 45% of the bills for the rest of your natural life.
For the rest of my life. Oh my
If
god.
that's what you want, that's what you want. But
Now that
I'm
you
not
put it
mad
like
at that.
that, damn.
I'm not mad at that. But I'm just asking, is that because I know that I have to take care of even if it was just me alone,
Mm.
I know I have to be responsible for my bills for the rest of my natural life.
Yeah.
So are you okay with being responsible with 45% of the bills for the rest of your natural life? And if you are, that's fine.
I would
But
say
if
yes.
you but if you're not, then that's okay too.
I would say yes.
All right. I am okay. I can't be mad at that. I think you're a rare breed. You
Agree.
are a rare breed. And look, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think there's nothing wrong with you saying 20, 15, 5. I just think that, if that's what you want, you just have to be ready for that. That's all. That's all. So Merce Jackson, it sounded like you want to say something. What was you about to say, player?
So at the max is 30, period.
Nurse Viv say none.
Max.
She said none.
I ain't mad at her.
Absolutely. I mean, my wife, if she didn't have to work, like again, I give reverence to the career woman. My wife is a career woman, right?
Mhm.
So she's always going to work to an extent.
Right.
But as far as providing, the max is going to be on the lower end, it's going to be 15 to 20, but the max is going to be 30. See what I'm- So if
Right.
she had to, she's going to do what she got to do. But
Right.
have to, she ain't trying to pay nothing. She trying to go get her nails done every week. She trying to go get the massages we trying to be doing what we got to do. But at the end of the day, if she had to, 30% max. And that's on the
Right.
high.
Right. No, and like I said, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, what goes on and what works for your household works for your household because we are in a time to where the average apartment costs, and this is average, $1,400 a month.
What?
Everybody don't have it like that, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? So me, do what you got to do. I prefer, I would prefer, you know, similar to what Nurse Merce Jackson said. But yeah, I don't mind my woman not working. I don't mind, because I know that if something happened to where I ever was in a situation to where I needed her to work, I know it wouldn't be a big deal. But no, I don't mind. I want to keep her and her feminine. Um, Not saying that women who work are not feminine, but I want to keep that state going. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman working if she really wants to work. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But Brianna, speaking to you, finna be a nurse, boy. I would never ever in my life date a nurse. If for some horrible reason I became single, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I love y'all sisters, y'all nurse sisters out there. I love y'all, but I just couldn't date y'all.
You
Most
wouldn't
nurses,
date a nurse? Oh
no,
man.
God no. Uh-uh.
So
Why
my girl, look, what if my girl D, right? Your wifey. That's what I call her. What if wifey D
She said
say
0%.
she 0%?
She said zero
What
percent.
if D said she wanted to become a nurse?
She wouldn't. She don't like blood. She don't like blood. She don't like none of that. She would never become a nurse. That's one thing I don't have to worry about.
Mm.
Is her becoming a nurse. Nurse Bill say, why not? I couldn't date a nurse because most nurses are bossy
Okay.
and they don't know how to turn it off. From what I've seen.
Yeah.
A lot of female nurses are very masculine from what I've seen because they are forced to be masculine all day. You know what I'm saying? Being in charge nurse, something go wrong, somebody always coming to them. Not saying that all of them are like that because I know for a fact all of them are not like that. But if I was out here in the streets and I was a nurse, I would not. I would no, God no, I would not do it.
Push back on you on that one, CJ.
Go ahead, sir.
Woo. So my wife, her parents, both of them are nurses, which is primarily why I got into the field
Uh,
before physical therapy. And she's not a nurse; she's on the business side of things. But her mother and her father are both nurses, and her mother is obviously the RN, like I am, and she is very feminine. She knows how to, and she's black. She knows how to turn it off at a specific time.
mm-hmm.
Her dad was in the military. Therefore, she had to follow suit regardless of where they were at. She followed suit. And her mother taught her how to be the woman that she is today.
Mm-hmm.
If she wasn't the woman that she was today, I'd probably be like, yeah, nah, I ain't rocking with you. Both of her sisters are nurses. They've been nurses longer than I've been a nurse. But I don't know, Nurse Viv is saying she's been a nurse for 26 years.
So I've been married 26 years before I became a nurse. So listen, I'm not saying late nurse ladies, I'm not saying that all of y'all are like that. I know for a fact all of y'all are not like that. It's just a lot of y'all are like that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do it. Um, because like I said, it's just first of all, nursing is a very stressful environment.
Facts.
A lot of women have a hard time leaving nursing at work. From what
That's
I've seen, you have a lot of nurses now and seeing us, they complain about how they hate the field and how they can't do this and how they don't want to do this. And you have some nurses be crying at the job, and then you have some nurses that be killing themselves. There was a nurse who killed herself. So it's a very stressful field. I'm not trying to deal with that. Not saying that, some don't know how to shut it off, but I can't. I don't. Plus, nurses work long hours. I don't want my chick working long hours. For the most part. I mean, there are other things you can do in nursing to not work long hours, but most nurses work not long hours. Get the bag. 16 hours is the norm for me because I'll be stuck at work, doing all kind of stuff. So I just yeah, I can't. It's very time consuming. It's very, very time consuming,
Let me ask you, CJ, is it stressful for you?
No, not for me.
Absolutely.
I don't get stressed out.
It's never been stressful for me because I can leave work at work and what is gonna be. I ain't taking buddy didn't make it, so yeah, I'm not taking buddy home with me.
Right.
It's more women are more empathetic or whatever the term is to I don't know. I do 100% agree with you though.
Yeah.
Stress and all these different things that are going on, but yeah, when I get home, I ain't saying nothing about what gonna happen at work or anything like that. So yeah,
Right.
more of a man female thing, but
Yeah, Didi asked me like, how's work? Like when I pull up, I'll decompress for like 10 minutes in the car. You know what I'm saying? Didi would be like, how's work? I'd be like, work is cool, you know what I'm saying? But I never really try to bring it home, even if something happened. Like I'll tell her about little things that go on, if she asks and stuff like that, or something crazy happened. But I never ever take it with me. And that's why I advocate going on vacation as much as you can, because to me, that's how I keep my sanity. I think it should be in nurses' contracts that they get a week off a month. I think something needs to happen to where nurses get a PTO every single month of vacation. That's just me. But nah, I couldn't do it. Like I remember back in the day when my girl used to work for the hospital, and something happened. This beat done pissed me off, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't, but some, emotions, hormones, all that kind of stuff. It is what it is. But I just like, I want my chick to be under the less stress as possible because
me too.
It just creates a better house. That's all I'm saying. It creates a better home.
Coming from men,
That's true.
what men do though in general, they want to have a peaceful home. Work is work. Same thing. If you're in the what do you call it? Like the if you sales position or something like that, and it's high stress and stuff like that. Typically, men are not coming home saying, "Oh well, so and so cussed me out and X, Y, and Z." No, men have resolved to get stuff done.
Yeah,
we compartmentalize a lot of stuff, and I realized that women tend to vent probably 10 times as much as men do because we have to figure it out. Nobody's coming to save men, right?
No.
Nobody coming to save us. Somebody can come save a woman in whatever situation that they may be in. But as a man, you're going to have to internalize that, figure out what to do, and then take the best course forward. So
right. And ladies, if you got a man who do work in very stressful environments and it just be days where he don't talk much and he don't say nothing, it's nothing personal. It's especially me because like sometimes I had days where I just don't have nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Like I be in my thoughts. I be trying to figure things out. And I think when me and Dee Dee first got together, she'd be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" It's nothing. It's literally nothing you did. It has nothing to do with you. I just have to,
Figure it.
that's how I process. I'm not an emotional person. I don't lash out. I don't get angry often. Um, and that's why I say, like, man, this is always something to look forward to. I try to keep it. I try to do things that I'm always looking forward to because that's how I get through the week. I'll be like, man, I ain't worried about none of this. All that drama y'all talking about, man, I'm finna be in Cancun in a week. Yeah, so whatever. I'm just trying to get through the week, and that's
So,
my mentality.
to be honest, brother, I think that's the mentality of a lot of men in general,
Yeah,
whether it's nursing field or whatever. It's because you have to learn how to figure stuff out. Oh, you got your girl pregnant? What you gonna do? That's
hmm
at the bare minimum. Oh, we doing this? We don't know. You're gonna have to figure stuff out as a man. As a
yeah,
man, you're gonna have to figure out how am I gonna make ends meet, how I'm gonna make rent, mortgage, whatever it is that you're doing, car
yep,
payment. These things are going in typical man, right? I got to figure it out. It's not up to my girl, my wife, whoever I'm dealing with to figure it out. It's up to me to figure it out. I got
yep,
in this situation. I need to figure out a out how to get to where we need to get to. Period. And that's the difference between a lot of men and boys slash these feminine men. Man, it's
for sure. Merch Jackson, you probably don't be out hanging out in the streets and stuff like that, do you?
what streets, bro? I'll be
Well,
at the
right,
court.
right, man, right. That's why, like me, man, like I was just having this talk with Didi, I think yesterday. Like, bro, I don't. All I do is literally come. I go to work, come home, work out, podcast, and go on vacation, bro. That's my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Facts.
Like, I try to make my life as stress free as possible by avoiding unnecessary BS. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. That, to be honest, that's all you can do. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was a young man and I was in the military, bro. So I was out there wilding.
Mm-hmm.
Like at one point, I was like, "For what?" That's all I was thinking.
Right.
For what? Yeah, I could do this, go do that, but for what? What is that gonna do for me? Is that aiding me? Is that progressing me to get to where I want to, or is this just for the moment? You know? And I think a lot of people, a lot of men, I wouldn't even call them men. A lot of boys get stuck in that phase. Cause I was in college, yo, college, I was a problem. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Play hoop, to play ball, and anything I wanted came to me, pretty much. And when you get stuck in that phase, you don't progress in life. Yo, you doing what you was doing at 19, at 25, that's not
Oh
cute.
man.
Cute,
Tell
fam.
me about it. What was it? What moment was it that sparked for you to know that, you know what? I gotta get my stuff together. What moment? Did you have a epiphany, a come to Jesus moment?
To be honest, in school, everything was monotonous. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, cool, that's fine. And then I joined the military. Once I joined the military, I got some type of discipline for one. And that's one thing I definitely recommend to especially black men, man. Coming from no father homes or what have you, is military. They're going to instruct discipline in you, and you're gonna get a paycheck every first and the 15th, depending on your rank or what have you, and it's going to teach you how to have some type of discipline. And I think that's what our community, the black community, or I wouldn't even it's secluded to black community. I think it's generational in general. They don't have discipline. They looking on TikTok every day or looking on Instagram of Logan Paul or somebody that's doing this. Oh yeah, I can have this. No, that costs money. You got to put in some work. And
Yeah.
that's one thing that my mother instilled in me is that ain't nothing in this life given. You're gonna have to go and get what you want out of life.
That's a whole fact.
And
That's
that's
a whole fact.
reality, fam. Throughout my entire life. Physical therapist assistant school, nursing school, finding my wife, all of that. I'm gonna be the man that I need to be. And far too many times with this red pill, blue pill, all this manosphere stuff, at the end of the day, you gotta be the man that you gotta be. You have to be the man that you need to be in order to become what you are destined to be. It's cool. If you just want to be, we coined the phrase Pookie and Ray Ray playing video games, Xbox all day. That's cool.
Yep.
That's what you want to do, living off your girl who busting her behind to make ends meet. And I know I'm on a tirade a little bit, but
No, go flow. I ain't cutting you off. Go ahead.
you gotta understand a lot of these red pill guys, or oh yeah, women ain't this, women ain't that. A lot of these cats ain't doing what they supposed to be doing, flat out.
Facts.
My dad wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing, flat out. My biological dad. I'm 32 years old, man. He wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing. I raised myself. My
Mhm.
stepdad raised me, fam. So I'm coming into my own at 32, going on 33 years old, on my shit, bro. Did
Yep.
nobody tell me how to be a black man in the United States of America? Did nobody tell me how to go? My mom, all my mom and my stepdad told me was you got to get a scholarship to go to college because we ain't got the money to pay for you to go to school.
Mm.
I had to buy my first car, $1,000, a beater,
Yep.
an Oldsmobile. They paid for my sister to get her. Mind you, my sister's 3 years older than me. They paid for her car. I had to go through my financial aid. I had to work a job while playing ball and in school to get my first car. To get my driver's license, I was 18 years old, flat out.
Mm.
My stepdad showed me a few times. He drew me around the block maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe. After that, when I turned 18, I went to the DMV, took my test, passed it, and I passed my driving test. I failed the parallel parking. I taught myself everything that I know on God,
Yep.
facts. Ain't nobody gave me nothing.
Yep. Same here, man. And like my dad is a very successful man and he was in my life, but he didn't give it. He ain't give it to me. He said, just because I got it, that don't mean you have it. You got to get it on your own, man. My first car was a 1984 Century Buick. I paid, man, that boy was a beater. Like a beater. It loud, loud. You can hear it come all the way up the block. But I was 17, 16.
Ooh,
Bought it off my high school girlfriend's brother for $400, man.
ooh,
I was so
were you
huh?
proud?
I was proud.
100%.
Man, I was dude. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing. You would have thought, like the way I was talking, you would have thought I had a Benz.
Hey, I'm telling
You would
you,
have thought I had a Benz, man. Cause I was just, man, my pops was so proud too. He's like, boy, you got your first car on your own. You ain't even need us to help you with it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, that's a good feeling, man. And but what really sparked me, man, like when I knew, nursing was gonna be my ticket.
mm,
Um, when I knew it was gonna be my ticket to where I really wanted to get to, man, I was just like, when I started really traveling and when
mm.
I started seeing like views like this, and when I started seeing what that water looked like and going to the places that you be seeing in the movies about how they all going on vacation, and like when I started doing stuff like this, man, and when I started seeing what blue water look like
Blue,
real blue water, and it's like in the movies for real, bruh. Like this is how people is living, bro. And nursing gave me the opportunity to do some of that stuff on my own terms too
it's
in a
a
short amount of time.
fact, no cap. Like I
In a
said,
short amount of time.
I'm telling you, and that's why I preach it. So I just got on the YouTube recently within the last couple months because of you.
Oh, I
Flat out.
appreciate, man. Do your thing because we need more examples, man, of black men that's showing you don't have to play ball, which is
Right,
cool. You
right,
don't have to rap, which is cool. You don't have to
right.
be an actor and still live a phenomenal life.
That's it, man. We don't have. That's the thing. I know the homie Anton always promotes exposure, right?
You're right.
You don't know what you don't know.
Hmm.
I recently found out before I went to nursing school a couple years back, four. It's been about 4 years now. Dang, time moving. But 4 years ago, I just realized that my grandmother she had her BSN. I did not know she was a nurse. Period. And
Wow.
like when I went to school, so the backstory. I'll give you the backstory. So on my dad's side, my grandmother passed from a nurse giving her insulin, and she was a
Mhm.
diabetic. Her sugar was low, and that's what took her out. And at that point, I was like, this is my divine intervention for me to go ahead and do what I already know. Because at the end when I went to school, I knew I was going to do either one or two things:
Right.
nursing or physical therapy. So I did physical therapy for 9 years as a physical therapist assistant. And I wanted to go full blown physical therapy, which is a doctorate degree now.
Mhm.
And when the situation happened with my grandmother on my dad's side, I was like, this is the sign for me to go ahead and do what we got to do. Mind you, at this point in time, we just bought the house that we're in now. My wife and I, we bought our house. And that was my main goal. We need to get a house. We have all these kids. We need to get a house that everybody has their own room. And thank God, excuse me, we have a good sized house, the biggest house in our community. And
You look like it, man. That basement, that I mean, not basement, but that gym look fire. That's an at-home gym, right?
yeah, at home gym. All this started last year or
Okay.
20 when COVID started.
That's what's up.
I'm a gym head. I always been in the gym since I got out the military, and not going to gym was not gonna be a option for me. So when the whole everything shut down back in 2020 or 2019? 2020, early 2020. I was like, yo, I need to go ahead and invest into all this stuff, and that's why I got what I got now. This is my man cave slash my area.
Right.
The old lady just came in here now looking at me crazy, like, yeah, we still on the show. Anyways, but
Apologies to your wife for keeping you so long, man.
you understand though. That's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. You gotta be with somebody who understands, like with you and Dee Dee, man. She understands who you are, bro.
Hmm.
That's me from afar. She lets you do what you do. A lot of women are not letting men doing what they do, being in their space or being who they are, being authentically themselves, right?
Hmm.
You ain't paying me too much attention. No, you got to realize what the end goal is. And once you have the right one that understands that, oh, yeah. Oh, like she came in here looking like, what are you doing? Oh, she walked right back on out. Hey, less. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, because they know you're gonna do it anyway.
right, exactly. That's me.
Yeah.
What behind your back, whatever it is, yo,
Right.
I'm doing some one way or another, either way.
Right. Right.
And but with that being said, man, with our community, we don't have a lot of examples, like you said, other than ball players playing football, basketball, soccer, baseball, or whatever. It, to be honest, nursing changed my life,
Yeah.
and
It
being
mine too.
yeah, like flat out. I've gone to places I've never gone in my life, even as a physical therapist assistant. I've gone to different countries I haven't gone to. Like it's like sky is the limit. And even in some of the stuff that I put out, I compare and contrast the two. Nursing is so vast. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
so adamant with continuing on with what I'm doing. No, it's not for everybody. No, everybody. It's good money.
And it's not always glamorous.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not always glamorous. It's not always fly. But you
Yeah.
know what? What is always fly? I mean, nothing's always fly 100% of the time. So you get what you can, and you make it shine the way you wanted to shine. My homie Lady A over in London said something really nice about my channel. She was like, "You make nursing look glamorous," and I was just like, "Man, that's the goal because I do want to help people, especially I want to help all kind of people, but I really want to help young men that
Right.
look like me and show them that it's different ways to come up. Man, but if you got a talent, utilize it. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, Merce Jackson. Nursing was not my plan A.
Wasn't mine either.
I never wanted to be a nurse, and I've said that many times. Nursing was something I really just fell into because
Mm,
I was looking for. I'm like, I literally Googled because at first I was a truck driver.
mm,
I didn't like being an over the road truck driver, so I literally Googled what job can I do where I can make a lot of money and pretty much work where I wanted to work. And it pulled up like three jobs and then like nursing like popped up. So I started doing some research.
mm,
And then like the following couple weeks, because I had worked in like group homes before.
mm,
So I said, well, if I can do that, I'm sure I could probably do this. And then I enrolled for school. I started studying for the HESI exam. I
mm,
found out how much I needed, and the rest is history. And I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to be a nurse for years.
mm.
I gave myself 15 years
I heard
max.
you. Yeah, for sure.
15 years max. And actually, when I get my BSN, I'm actually looking into starting a logistics company because I
Come on.
see the I see the game for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I see the game for what it is. I know what it is. I know I'm a number. So I'm gonna utilize it to its full potential.
It's a means to an end.
Absolutely. And
Period.
don't get me wrong, if you are a person that has a passion for nursing and this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, it is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You want
Right.
to retire a nurse, there's nothing wrong with that. But this field only got about 15 years of me dealing directly with patients. I'll say that because I'm sure I'm always in some way, form, or fashion going to keep my license active and do
Right.
something within the realm of nursing, whether it's me having a business or something like that. But direct patient to nurse care
Right.
or right, nurse to patient care,
Right.
nah. It's backbreaking work. Nursing is a very athletic thing. And I tell people that all the time, they don't understand that. To be a good nurse, you have to be a good athlete.
Facts. I agree.
Like you nurses, I think all nurses should strive to get in the best shape that they possibly can. Because working 16 hours, 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, if you're gonna get it like me, 4 or 5 days a week,
Woo.
that's an athlete, boy.
Talk that talk.
That's an athlete. That's why I'm trying to get in shape, man. I'm working on the guns, trying to change my diet, even though I ate some mess before I went on the air. But boy, that's an athletic job.
Yeah. At the
You
end of
know,
the game, all you gotta do is this is the one thing that I do every single day when I wake up. I journal, I meditate, pray, and read the scripture. I'm Christian or what have you. So that's what I do every morning.
amen.
And the number one thing that I do, whether I go to church or whatnot, I mean, most of these let me stop. Let me not even talk about the church right now. But every morning when I wake up, the one thing that I try to do is become a better man today than I was yesterday. Period.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
I agree, 100%,
the
100%.
the smallest aspect. And what did I say?
She said, "Then why are so many nurses big?"
Because
Most
they
nurses, right. But I feel like to be the best nurse that you can be, and this is just my opinion, I
Mhm.
feel like you should be in good shape because it's a lot to stand on your feet all day, run from patient to patient to patient to patient. That is um an athletic task, and a lot of people don't see it as that. But you do got some lazy nurses who sit at the nurse station all day and only get up when needed. So
You're right. That's true.
yeah, so
And that depends to me, to be honest, that depends on if you're bedside or not.
that's
Again,
true. That's true.
I one thing that I want to explore is first assistant, being the first assistant in surgery.
Mm.
And that's a lot of things. That's something that people don't even know about as far as nurses. I'm like, I
Mm.
don't know about first. That's one. That's probably one of the main things that geared me toward nursing was like, yo, you can be like the first person to the surgeon in surgery. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be operating a what is it called? Pl- it's something with the lungs. You got to go to school for it and get a certification for it. You can be an anesthesiologist, a nursing
Yep.
anesthesiologist, um, CRNA,
Yep.
or nurse practitioner. Have your own. There's it's so vast, and that's the one thing that actually took me out of physical therapy and 100% enthralled me into nursing was the vast majority of things of what you can do as a nurse.
Yep.
And yeah, the money's always going to be there. But me personally, I'm sure you've heard, is that my end goal is to be obviously an NP, nurse practitioner.
Yep.
And my heart is in missionary work. I want to open up some things, some hospitals, clinics, and stuff like that across the world. And that's
That's
my
what's up.
so.
Hey, how do you feel about? And I don't know if I'm only gonna hold you for a little bit longer, but I
No,
just wanted to ask you about this real quick. How do you feel about the foreign nurses? Them hiring the foreign nurses to come over now and work in the hospital. How you feel about that?
I had first experience with this. So when I was working in a hospital here in Texas, they had a bunch of Filipino nurses come out here, and they were not paying them like nurses. I'll say that.
I keep telling them.
They were paying them like they were paying certified nursing assistants.
Mm-hmm.
And so they came over here on contract or what have you. If you look it up, you can look up San Antonio. I'm not gonna say the actual
Yeah, don't do that.
system, but you can look it up. It's prevalent throughout the internet of they were sending specific type of people over here who were RNs, mind you, not LPNs, LVNs, but RNs
Mm-hmm.
in different countries, bringing them here and paying them like CNAs, working them like dogs.
Boy, it's a dirty game, ain't
And
it?
like, I'm not going to disclose who I worked for,
No, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
but we get on this end. But I'm like, you paying what for who?
Crazy.
Great, no, dead serious, brother. And I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't understand. This was before the pandemic stuff. So this is probably pandemic was what the last 2 years. I was in the hospital for 5 years.
Okay.
The majority of that time was as a PTA, but I got the DL on the hospital system and then I deviated to where I'm at now. It's crazy. But yeah, they were bringing people over from different countries, paying them like no.
Yeah, and that's why they asked me if I was worried. I said no. Worried for what? Like I'm not worried about it. The money always gonna be there. It was a
That,
shortage before a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not. No, that's not that. I'm not worried about. No.
that's true. I
Yeah.
agree.
So, well, Merce Jackson, I appreciate you rocking with me. I think it's time to shut this thing down. I'm gonna lay it on down because I got an appointment in the morning. So, go ahead and promote your channel, man, before you get up out of here.
Absolutely. So you can catch me at Merce Jackson. Yeah. Merce Jackson on YouTube and not on any other social media, guys. And pretty much just giving out content on my experience and back in nursing school as well. getting my BS in, and pretty much letting people know how it is being a nurse while in nursing school and vlogging here. Like I said, my guy CJ Kyle's the high value nurse. Definitely inspired me to get on the internet and show my story, and to promote nursing as a whole. So salute.
Man, I appreciate that, man. And like I said, man, it's an honor that people even are inspired by me. I get messages. I'll be like, wow, well, I'm just telling my story and my experience. That's all I'm doing. But I appreciate it, man. And y'all inspire me to keep doing it. And I love seeing other brothers, especially, man. I love seeing brothers out here doing they dang on thing out here, getting to the money and doing what they gotta do and just having a good time while doing it, man. So
Absolutely.
ladies and gentlemen, that has been this episode of the first episode of Rotation Conversations. I appreciate y'all being here this evening. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. And it's been a good show. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you adieu. Peace.
Salute.